August 1590. A ship called the Moonlight drops anchor off the coast of what's now North Carolina, 3 years late, blown around by storms and a war back in England that nobody on board could control. The captain's name is John White, and somewhere on that island waiting for him is his daughter, his granddaughter too, a baby girl he's never even met, born after he left. He fires a signal cannon, nothing answers. He wades ashore with a handful of men, calling out names into trees that don't call back. The settlement is still standing, fences up, houses intact mostly, but there's no smoke from any chimney, no smell of cooking, no sound of a single human voice anywhere on that stretch of coast. 115 people, men, women, children, his own family among them, gone as if the ground had simply opened and swallowed the entire place whole. Carved into a wooden post at the entrance, one word, Croatoan. No blood, no broken weapons, no sign of a struggle, no burned houses, nothing that says these people died fighting for their lives. Just an empty town and 9 letters that have haunted historians for over 400 years. This is the lost colony of Roanoke, and to this day, nobody actually knows what happened to those people. Not for certain, not one single body has ever been found. And let's back up. 1587. England is racing Spain to plant a flag in the so-called New World, and a group of 115 settlers, families, not soldiers, people who brought their children with them, land on Roanoke Island expecting to build something permanent. Within weeks, supplies are already running low. The relationship with the local Croatoan and other Algonquian-speaking peoples nearby is fragile, shaped by years of earlier English hostility that these new arrivals didn't cause but absolutely inherited. John White, the colony's governor, makes a decision that will define the rest of his life. He sails back to England alone to get more supplies and reinforcements. Before he leaves, he tells the settlers something simple.
If things go bad, if you have to move, carve where you're going into a tree or a post. And if you're in real danger, pain, leave a cross above it.
He expects to be back within months. He isn't. War breaks out between England and Spain. Every ship gets pulled into military service. White begs, argues, probably loses sleep over it. We don't know his exact words in those years.
God help us! Oh. We are abandoned.
3 years pass before he's finally able to charter a ship back across the Atlantic. And when he lands, he finds that single word, Croatoan. No cross above it, which, by the very system he set up himself, should mean good news. It should mean his people relocated peacefully, maybe to Croatoan Island, about 50 miles south, where they had friendlier relations with the local tribe. So why didn't he just sail there and check? Because the ocean, once again, said no. A storm damaged his ship's anchor cables. His crew, exhausted and low on supplies themselves after the crossing, refused to risk the trip. White was forced to turn back to England without ever setting foot on Croatoan Island, without ever getting an answer, carrying an empty search back home with him for the rest of his life. He never returned to America. He died years later, still not knowing. For 4 centuries, that question sat there, mostly unanswered, and theories filled the silence the way they always do. One theory says the colonists were absorbed into the Croatoan tribe. Decades later, English explorers moving through the region reported meeting native communities with grey eyes and oral histories among some indigenous groups in the area.
My father's father, he did wear the heavy iron and speak the tongue of the great water.
Spoke of ancestors who spoke English. None of that is proof, but it's not nothing either. Another theory is darker. A rival tribe, one with a documented history of conflict with the earlier Roanoke settlers, may have attacked the colony. Spanish records from that era match all surviving documents, mention hearing rumors of English settlers being killed somewhere along that coast. Spain had its own spies watching English activity in the region, and their reports occasionally mention violence. But rumors written by a rival empire hoping the English project would fail aren't exactly unbiased sources, and no bodies, no mass grave, no physical evidence has ever backed this version up. Tree ring data pulled from ancient cypress trees in the region actually confirms that the years around 1587 were the driest stretch in nearly 8 centuries. Crops would have failed, wells would have run low. If that's true, the colonists may not have vanished in one dramatic night at all. They may have simply scattered in small, desperate groups searching for water and food wherever they could find it. Some surviving, some not, with no single dramatic ending, because there wasn't one. Which theory is correct? Honestly, nobody knows, and that's the part that makes this story different from most disappearances. Usually a mystery gets solved eventually. A body surfaces, a confession leaks out generations later. Here, the evidence itself seems to have vanished, right along with the people. 400 years later, we're still standing on that same shoreline, still staring at a single carved word, still asking the same question John White asked the moment he stepped off that boat and called out into trees that never answered him back. Where did everyone go? Maybe the real answer isn't a body or a battle or a grave waiting to be dug up somewhere. Maybe the real answer is that 115 people didn't disappear at all. They simply stopped being missing to history and started belonging to someone else's story instead, one that nobody ever bothered writing down.